All right, so this is what year? 2006? 2004. Acura TL with the 3.2 liter. Was it? I don't remember the engine code. J30 something? I don't know. Anyway, they're pretty good cars, but like all cars, they have minor issues, window regulators and such. Today we are looking at the power steering pump, and it has O-ring gaskets that can go bad, and those actually are hidden down in this tube here. There's a plastic tube that runs and connects to the power steering pump, and there's another O-ring that goes on this metal piece here. So we're going to just unbolt those and replace the O-rings. So we already have those right here, and you can see the Honda part numbers. So there's one gasket for the plastic piece and a gasket for the metal piece. And to do this job, both of those bolts that hold the plastic and metal piece in are 10 millimeters. To make it easy, we've got a 10 millimeter wrench, and then we got 10 millimeters on a socket. The other thing that you're going to use is some sort of, grips like this where you can take the line off. So let's get to it. All right, step one, if you have gloves, put on some gloves. Gabe is going to do the top first. So here we go. We've got the socket on there, and you can see that
they're very easy
to break loose. And then let's put those bolts aside. Let's actually put them somewhere where they're not going to drop. Yeah, up there is fine. So there's plenty of space. Find somewhere to put them. And then we get the other bolt. Almost there. I think you should be able to pull it up now. All right, so this metal piece is probably in there pretty tight because it's been how many years?
Yeah.
So just wiggle it loose and hope we don't get too much fluid dripping out. I don't think we're probably going to get much. Oh, there we go. A little bit of fluid. It's okay. While we're on the topic of fluid, let me pause this. I'm not actually pausing. I'm just going to go over here and grab shop towel. Here, Gabe. Just wipe around it. You got a little bit of fluid that's dripping. That's fine. Okay, Gabe, if you can turn that hose over a little bit just so we can see what it looks like underneath. And there we go. So there's yep, that's what we're going to pull. We're going to remove that plastic gasket there. We might need a screwdriver if you can't get it by hand.
It's doable by hand.
Okay, doable by hand. There you go. So you don't actually need a screwdriver. And with that out, I'm going to hand the new part, and we can see it's right upside down. No, upside down. There it is, 91370SV4000. And Gabe, this part costed you what? $5?
Both O-rings together were $6.25.
Not bad, not bad. Easy job. There we go. And gasket on. Look at that. Cake.
That's one. They say if you're gonna do one, you might as well replace both. So if you do hear the car whining at you, like I said, both parts are very inexpensive, so you might as well, if you're here, you might as well do both of them. And now I'm gonna go ahead and
let's do the bolts. Let's put the bolts back up on the top of that one. So the reason that we're doing this is because the power steering was making some whining noises, and it tends to be a result of the gaskets going bad and air getting into the power steering system. You could probably know for sure by looking at the power steering reservoir and seeing if there's any bubbles in there. That would be a telltale sign. But being as easy as this is, we're just doing it. Torque to spec, torque to until it's snug. That's what we're doing, because they were pretty easy to remove, so they can't be torqued to that much. Just try to, feels good, okay. And now onto the lower plastic. So this one actually is a plastic tube. The car is still kind of warm. So, and we do expect, because of the shape of this, there's probably some fluid in this line. So we're also going to take care when we remove this with the towel to try to catch whatever comes off of this, because you probably just don't want fluid on. Well, I don't want fluid on my driveway. And so there we go. We've just backed that piece off there, pull it back a little bit more, and we should be able to twist it and get it off the plastic housing. There it is. Okay, cool. Or stuff a towel in there just so it doesn't leak. Okay, so to take the other housing off, there's a bolt underneath that you're gonna have to go through this way. I can't really see it on camera, but I'm sure, Gabe, you can see the other bolt underneath of there, right about. You feel it? There it is. Yeah. Okay, so there's the other bolt, and you're going to want to, here, let me hold that out of the way. Let's see if we can't get a better look at that bolt there. There it is. And I'm going to push down on it to loosen. There we go. So this one's going to take a little bit more time just because of the confined space that we're in.
It's in a very awkward spot.
Yeah. All right, there it's coming out. What you don't want to do is drop it.
Yeah.
Can you pull it out? There we go. That's not what we wanted.
What we did.
So what you don't want to do is drop a bolt, because that one's way down there. And you got it, Gabe?
Yeah.
Okay. That was a pain in the ass, so you guys don't want to do that. The rubber gasket's probably, it's not on here, so it's probably still in the actual housing. So what we might want to do is grab a screwdriver, or see if we can pry it out with your finger. This gasket, you can see, is black.
But it's smaller than the first one.
Yeah, it's smaller than the first one. The other thing is, when you buy the new one, it's red. So, and it's going to turn, I believe it's going to turn black over time. And you can see here, size difference between the one that we took out first.
On the right.
On the right here. The one we just took out on the left. And the new replacement for the plastic housing here on in the bag still. And you should be able to slip the new gasket right over there. And it should just wiggle itself right on. There we go. And now installation is same as uninstall, so, or same as removal. And now to get that nut in there, or bolt in without dropping it this time. There it is. There we go. So wrapping up this job should be pretty easy. We just tighten up that last bolt. It's kind of in a tough position to get your fingers into. You should be able to do it by hand, and then once it starts to snug up, grab that 10mm wrench, and then all right, now that's done. You might be wondering why this board is on the cowl here. This is because, much like the O-rings being shot, I think there's gaskets inside these struts that are also shot. So that might be one of the next jobs that Gabe's gonna do. Next thing you do, so when you take this hose off, you also want to inspect it closely to make sure there's no tears or rips or anything that looks damaged. Wiggle it back over top of the plastic housing, squeeze the clamp, run it back into the original position. If you're reusing the original tube, you'll know where those marks are. And you want to angle these inwards so that it doesn't have any possibility of hitting a belt. And while you're there, you might as well check out the belt condition too. But for now, it looks like we're good. Just cleaning up and turning on the car to make sure it's quiet.
Check it out.
What do you think?
Quiet car now.
Much better. And you should also look at it just to make sure that there's no leaking going on. If you cleaned off the surfaces good, you'll be able to tell after driving it around, probably a block or something like that. All right, well, there's the job. Next thing you gotta do is just put the cover back on, and we're done.